Call the regular city council meeting Monday, October 7th, 2013 to order. Clerk, call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Here. Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf. Here. Lukosius.
Here.
Perez.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Mueller.
Here.
Sapienza. Mayor Harrell.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. Okay, we have Rose Tobler Sparks like to come up and speak.
Okay, I am Rose Tobler Sparks, and I currently live in Capistrano Beach, California, but I'm a former resident and a kind of distant member of the pool committee. And I want to introduce a few other people here. Patty Shinnick Gallagher, who you probably know the name Shinnick, and Sherry Moore Palya. These were both lifeguards, and Sherry is now a city manager in Hidden Hills, California. And we were in Leslie Honscheid's hometown at her daughter's wedding, so she's sorry she can't be here tonight. And I'm going to just read this basically, but obviously I'm not an expert on all your local issues, but I've tried to keep up on the pool issues. And for me, the pool was the heart and soul of this town. And of course, your roads and sewers all have to be taken care of. But what I remember from across the country are summers at the pool, first as a kid playing, learning to swim, learning to work, and accept responsibility. And I think this effort may take a long time. And that does not mean giving up on it or setting it up for failure. So call me an optimist, but I think with a coordinated effort between city and private fundraisers, we could reach some larger donors as well. But without a show of city support, I don't think we can ask people for larger donations or for any donations. So I would love to see some city money budgeted for 5 to 10 years. And also we had talked about an opt-in plan several years ago where people could add $5 or $10 a month to the utility bill. And they could be recognized after a certain period of time, 3 years or 5 years, or whenever the pool is completed, on a plaque or whatever. And obviously not everyone's going to do that, but it could still raise a substantial amount of money. And Leslie and I have always thought former residents like us, these ladies are already donors, as are Leslie and I, could take a big role, and we need to figure out a way to reach out to them. I think 10% of our current funds are already from the few friends and family we contacted. And I would love to see a bigger committee, maybe divided into 2 sections. An event committee, as currently they're working on numerous events, and a different part of the committee designated to approach individual donors. And in regards to the splash pad, as a donor of a substantial amount already, I would likely be okay with phase 1 being a splash pad, as long as it is part of the overall pool design. And seeing some progress like that with a splash pad may get people excited, and that's what we need. I hope we're going to consider keeping the old location, no matter how long it takes to get this done, for what I see as the jewel of our park system. Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the regular meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2013, placed on file?
So moved, Your Honor. Second, Your Honor.
A motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to receive the regular meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the Treasurer's Report for August 2013, General Fund, Miscellaneous Funds Report for August 2013, placed on file?
So moved. Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Radke, second by Alderman Putoff, to receive the Treasury Report for August 2013, General Fund and Miscellaneous Funds Report for August 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll move to committees, Accounts and Finance, Alderman Putoff, Alderman Radke.
Yes, Council, tonight I'd like to present the total disbursements for October 9th of the year 2013. The disbursements include $882,376.16. I'd like to make a motion that these disbursements be received, placed on file, the city pay the bills in the usual manner.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke, to receive the disbursements, placed on file, and the bills paid in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye. Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I have nothing else in that committee. Alderman Radke, anything to add?
No, I have nothing further.
Okay, Public Works. Alderman Waldorf, Alderman Lukosius.
Yes, Your Honor. Tonight I have the electric financial report for the month of August 2013. And during this period, revenues over expenditures were reported in the amount of $90,940.54. I'd like to make a motion that this report be accepted and placed on file.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf, to receive the electric financial report for August 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, Your Honor, I have the electric operations report for the month of August 2013. And during this period, the total kilowatt hours that were sold amounted to charges of $2,041,765.52, and purchase power avoided due to our hydro plant was $83,252.11. I'd like to make a motion to receive this report and place it on file.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf, to receive the electric operations report for August 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, Your Honor, I have the City approved revenue and expense report for the Water and Sewer Fund as of August 31st, 2013. This report shows in the current period that we have revenues over expenditures of $85,366.10. I'd like to make a motion that we receive this report and place it on file.
Second that, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius, to receive the Water and Sewer Financial Report for August 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion?
One thing I did want to point out, Your Honor, is you see a nice balance in that fund, but one of the areas to consider when you're looking at that balance, a lot of it comes from the EPA loan that came in for the city approval. So it's not actually, you're looking at a huge surplus, I guess, in that account. Basically, the funds have been received. They will have to be paid back. So it's somewhat misleading from that standpoint.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, Your Honor, I have the City approved water wastewater treatment plants report as of August 2013 for that month. The total water produced was 88.8 million gallons. At our wastewater treatment plants, the East plant, we treated 51.4 million gallons, and at our West plant, treated 29.3 million gallons. I'll make a motion that we receive this report and place it on file, please.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius, to receive the Water Wastewater Treatment Plant Report for August 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd like to make a motion to execute an agreement for construction expenses for the Shooting Park Road STU program in the amount of approximately $160,000. A motion was made on 6/17/13 to authorize engineering for this project in the amount of $135,000. This represents 100% of the engineering. It will cost us 100% of the engineering, but only 20% of the project, and that will be to resurface Shooting Park Road. I'm sure we've all seen that this is a necessary thing. So I will make that motion.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius, to execute agreement for construction expense for Shooting Park Road STU program in the amount of approximately $160,000. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, if I could ask the committee, where does that line go to, from where to where on Shooting Park? Someone asked me the other day, I couldn't remember.
Pulaski to Peoria.
Pulaski to Peoria, right?
Pulaski to Peoria.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I do want to make the announcement that Water Street shortly, as of Thursday, will be closed from Plain Street to Pine Street for a month or more. It's a substantial amount of time. They're building a structure down there, and this is in order to continue with Phase 1 of the Area 1 sewer separation. So I just want to let all the residents know that, you know, you'll be a little inconvenienced down there, but it's part of the project and it's a necessary evil. With that, I will make a motion to authorize the Asphalt Restoration Systems LLC to seal the Baker Lake walking path in the amount of $17,080.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius, to authorize Asphalt Restoration Systems LLC to seal the Baker Lake walking path in the amount of $17,080. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a couple of questions and a few concerns I'd like to express. This walking path, was that budgeted for this year to have done?
Treasurer Hyland?
We've kind of talked about this a little bit. They're doing so well on the street program that we do have some funds left over for what was originally allocated there. And the $17,000 should not disturb anything.
Mm-hmm.
We also are doing a lot better, I think, with some of the infrastructure funds, even in the water and sewer area, than what we anticipated. So there should be some additional funds there.
The concern I have is the work is going to be done at Baker Lake, and I feel that this is a project that should have been discussed between the two committees of Public Property and Public Works to move forward with, because, you know, I've walked that path many times, and I went down there again Sunday and walked around, and the path really isn't that bad a shape. And, you know, and I know that, speaking with Superintendent, that sealing it would give us a few more years on it, but there's really no guarantee of what that can do for us. What I would like to do is table this for the fact that I think our two committees could come up with a better plan to where we could take that $17,000, because over the next 5 years we're probably going to have to redo something and tear that up anyway and resurface, not resurface, but basically reconstruct the whole thing. And to do that would probably cost between $35,000 to $40,000 approximately. And if we were to take this $17,000 this year that they want to take and do that with, and then budget another, say, the rest of it, if it's $40,000, or even $35,000 to $40,000, budget that out of our committee for next year, for 2014, and we'd be able to reconstruct that entire pathway with those funds combined. Instead of, I feel it's kind of a waste to just resurface it at $17,000 when we're probably going to have to tear it up in 5 years anyway.
Well, I don't see just letting it go either.
But it's not in that bad a shape, and I don't think it's a...
Well, then why would you think it's going to have to be redone in 5 years?
Well, if it's something that we're going to seal now, and we're able to probably get 2 to 3 more years out of it, if, like Superintendent said, depending on the weather, and coming up with some kind of a plan where in 5 years we need to do something, at least we could at least plan it now and invest the money and just redo the whole path. It would save instead of having to scrape that up in 3 years, and I really don't think it's worth it to resurface at this point.
Well, I do, and you know, you said 5 years, and then you said 2 or 3 years.
Well, that's I'm just giving you the quotes from the superintendent.
It is an area that needs some work. It is something that we want to look nice. instead of letting it deteriorate for 2 or 3 more years, I think we spend the money and get it resurfaced.
First of all, what I'm reading here, it says to seal it. We're not
You're
resurfacing
right.
it.
Yeah, that's exactly
We're
right.
sealing, in other words, they're going and putting oil on it, filling in the cracks and sealing it. They're not resurfacing.
No.
So there's a difference between resurfacing and sealing. And all blacktop jobs that I know of, even parking lots, every so often, every so many years, they do reseal them. I mean, so I think it's just standard procedure on a blacktop job. I'm not an engineer, I'm not a construction man, but I do see them doing it a lot.
It's a preventive maintenance measure is all it is. It'll replace some of that oil that was lost, or the AC that was lost from weather, as I mentioned to you earlier. I mean, it's one of the preventive measures that can be done.
Yeah, I'd like to, I guess, hear a little more information from the city engineer or yourself from that standpoint. What would a total restoration cost? I think Alderman Perez said in the $30,000 range. I think it'd be a lot more than that.
Well, the number that we talked about earlier was pretty much for just material. I mean, that wouldn't necessarily include any other ancillary items that would have to go into that could possibly come up with the bike path being completely resurfaced and everything like that. Just an asphalt cost right now, I'm figuring probably between $35,000 and $40,000, and then you could potentially have, base repairs and all kinds of other things that would have to take place just because of some of the different freeze-thaw cycles we've seen in the past few years. So it could be $40,000. It could be lumped in with other projects to make those numbers come down a little bit, just as a general. But it would most likely cost a little more than $40,000 to do it, would be my guess. That's just asphalt costs that we were talking earlier. So what that number is off the top of my head, I don't know. But
Well, what would your recommendation be?
at this point in time, as I told Alderman Perez earlier, it would probably be it's in a good life cycle spot to be seal coated. It's in pretty good condition. It'll get us 3-4 more years and however long before we have to redo it. But it's in a good spot to do this. There's only a little bit of raveling on the top. Few spots maybe need a little more repair, but nothing dire. I mean, it's a good spot to do it.
Any further
Another
discussion?
$20,000 investment, even $25,000 or $30,000 over the next couple of years, just redo the whole thing and reconstruct it would be, a lot better than spending that 17 and then.
What I heard is there's $40,000 in material. There's got to be an additional several $1,000s in labor.
Yeah, and I could put a cost estimate together for that, but I don't.
Yeah, it's not 40,000. I mean, there's got to be at least.
It's
that
probably
much in
40,000
labor.
asphalt material, and I'd have to go and actually crunch the numbers and give you a true estimate to figure out.
Well, we just heard the city engineer, superintendent of public works, say that it's in a good life cycle spot for maintenance. And I don't think that it's in our best interest to not maintain what we already have, no matter that we're looking to the future. But we have to make what we have last as long as possible.
Superintendent, I really hate to put you on the spot or anything like that, but would you not also recommend that it's also another possible good idea another good approach would be to spend the money and just do it over the next couple years and reconstruct it?
The bike path's 15 plus years old right now. I mean, you can probably argue either way, but if looking at saving possible money in the future, and considering it's a hard job to construct because it's a bike path, it's specialized equipment sometimes to do that because how small it is. It'd be better to lump in if we're actually going to do a resurface project with like a road project, so where we can try to bring down those numbers. So that's why I can argue either way, but I think at this time we have the opportunity to seal coat it. It's in a good spot. We might as well take the opportunity to do it, I would think, at
Your
this
Honor?
point.
Yes.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. I call the question.
Okay, well, roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Nay.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved. Anything else from Public Works?
Chris, do you have anything? Sean, anything else? No? Mike? No? That's all, sir. Thank you.
Public Health and Safety, Alderman Ferrari, Alderman Sapienza.
Yes, Your Honor, we have the Proof Fire Department pay period ending September 28, 2013. I'll make a motion we accept this report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Waldorf, to receive the Prue Fire Department report for period ending September 28th, 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
The only other thing I'd like to mention is, at the last Public Health and Safety meeting, we talked about trick-or-treating Halloween, Marquette Road, north of Shimmers, and for the media. And that what we're going to do this year is we're going to have at 25th and Marquette, Pulaski, the entrance there, and North Marquette. We're going to have ESDA people, and we're going to have volunteers. So if there's any aldermen that'd like to work, we're going to pass out informational papers, and we're going to ask the people that don't live up there not to drive up there with the trick-or-treaters. We're going to have police officers on bikes. We're going to have ESDA vehicles. And if we see anybody riding around, going with because it's very dangerous up there. Kids are darting in and out of cars. And when families are going with their children, driving to each house, you know, somebody's going to get hurt one of these days, and we're trying to prevent it from happening. So I'd just like to inform everyone that that's what's going to happen this year north of Shimmers up there in Marquette Road subdivision. It's going to be information when people drive up there. They'll be handed a piece of paper explaining what's going on. But if somebody is seen and doesn't listen, they're going to be informed to either leave or park their car. So, any chiefs, any other thing to add to that, or Chief King, anything? That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, public property, Alderman Perez, Alderman Mueller.
Yes, Your Honor. This evening we had a public property meeting, and we had the Friends for a Prue Pool come in to give a little presentation, which we will be asking if they could get put on the agenda for 2 weeks, which would be our Wednesday meeting, to come in to give another presentation to the council for Plan B, which is a splash pad. And what they had presented to us was a splash pad located, which would be right next to the swimming pool, the future pool. And it would be a splash pad designed to where it would attract the younger kids and even teenagers. The splash pad that they have in mind has some special activities to it, like basketball and little baseball stuff. They gave a pretty good presentation on that earlier. And they would like to present that to the committee. I think a lot of us are under the impression that, especially with the phone calls that I got, that a referendum a tax increase to support a pool isn't going to fly. So taking this approach, putting up a splash pad next to where the pool would go, along with possibly a billboard with a photo or with a drawing of the pool, of what the goal would be and the wish. I think that if people see a splash pad and see the blueprint of a pool, they would see more donations coming in to fund that. And the vision would be there, the blueprint would be there, and the goal. And I would think that a pool could happen sooner than we think without a property tax increase. So I think that, going forward, we should give them that opportunity to present to us their splash pad idea in a couple of weeks.
Alderman, where's the, what location are you looking at?
Washington Park, where
the old one was?
Yes.
I understand that there's some question as to whether or not you can build it in the same spot without so many years of settling. I mean, the last thing we want to do is put it up there and have any settling or cracking or anything. I mean, I like the idea, but I understand that from just conversation with people that there's a question as to whether you can do it or how soon you can do it.
Superintendent?
It would cost more, but you could probably do it. I wouldn't say it's a definite, but it would be nice to wait.
We should probably have somebody come in and, I mean, what do you do there? How do you decide that?
You take some borings, figure out what the soil is underneath. It all depends on what's happened, what's below it, and what's I don't know how the thing was also removed
Yeah.
before.
And I think the splash pad where they would put that, a good possibility would be more to the west of where the pool was, where it was a lot more flat and not much underneath it. And then the future of the pool would go where the pool was, where that would be several years down the road.
Either way, I would recommend soil borings, whatever you do.
Just to make sure. I
Just to
mean,
make
you don't
sure.
wanna, you wanna have, you know, settling, right? Or
That'll help tell
cracking,
you
whatever,
exactly
sure.
what you need to do. So, I mean, that's what I would recommend. I mean, if we're looking at a couple years, do some soil borings, and then the geotechnical engineers will be able to exactly tell you if you're gonna have a problem or not.
Just to address the committee, when you're going to give your presentation, are you going to have drawings and cost estimates and architectural stuff, you know, that would go along with? Okay. All right, I think that would be very informative, and, you know, we can move it forward if we've got all the information.
You're the one asking the question, I'm asking you, please clarify exactly what you want from us.
I would
Well,
like to
if-
see the size, what area and size of this splash pad you're looking at, the cost breakdown. We did mention insurance. Clerk Bartley assured us that that's not, you know, an issue, but it's something that we do need to consider, and also what the ongoing costs are gonna be. I know that there's a monthly water cost, and, you know, I would like to see what kind of, you know, maintenance and what needs to be done when the season is over, and to shut it down for the winter, and that, those kinds of things, a little bit more specific, cost-wise.
Okay, but now, are you talking specifically just the pad, or Dave, are you talking the whole complete project?
No, just the splash pad to start, but the splash pad being pool ready, you know, when that eventuality happens.
Okay, now, I was understanding you were saying, that you were asking for the design of the pool.
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, just the splash pad, no.
The cost that Mrs. McKishka gave was right in the ballpark of $100,000, and the research that she's done has approximate cost of water use of about $300. That's compared to other communities. But, you know, of course, we'd have to base it on what Peru does. But yeah, just for the months that it's open. So we're looking at
Water
approximately,
cost of $300 per month.
yeah, for a few months. Yeah, 3 or 4 months, 5 months. Yeah. So they gave a great presentation. They had videos, they had photos. They visited other communities with a splash pad, and I think you'd be pretty impressed, even if they were to give a presentation tonight, of what they could sell us, because they did a lot of homework on it.
Are we going to give you the same ones that were used in the old school, or are they going to have to come from a different area?
Probably not, according reading lips of the superintendent.
Probably not. That would be my guess. I don't know anything about the splash pad or the way the old pool is constructed, but I'm assuming the way that the new piping and everything that would have to be done would probably not be used in the same fashion.
Can you get us some of that information?
I can look and see for the water in the storm and all that stuff. I can probably find some maps of that. It might even be on the old plans or removal plans that we had. So we can probably take something up for you there.
That's the only thing we had with that. We had a gentleman come in from the Lions Club that would like to help us out in putting a restroom over at Baker Lake. And we were approximately $10,000 to $15,000 over budget to do it this year, so we tabled it as far as the location goes. And they're more than eager to help us fund the rest of it to get that moved over by the shelter and help us out with the cost. and along with some other things at Baker Lake, and I thought that was pretty neat with what the Lions Club would like to help the city of Peru do. So we'll have more discussion on that later. Other than that, I have nothing else. Alderman Mueller?
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, report to city attorney, ordinances, resolutions.
An ordinance authorizing execution of an engagement for legal services with Sullivan, Hinks, and Conway. The city owns a right-of-way commonly known as Peru Rail, and there are pending disputes between the city and Illinois Railway, LLC, concerning Peru Rail and the division of revenues derived therefrom is advisable. Matter pertaining to government affairs of the city of proper public purpose and in the best interest of the city engage attorneys familiar with railroad-related disputes. Whereas the city desires to enter into an engagement for legal services by and between the city and Sullivan, Hinks, and Conway of Oak Brook, Illinois. Now therefore be it ordained the mayor, on behalf of the city, is hereby authorized to execute and enter into an engagement for legal services by and between the city and Sullivan, Hinks, and Conway, copy of which engagement for legal services is hereto attached. The mayor, city clerk, and Schweiger and Gannison, LLP, corporation counsel for the city, and each of them, for and on behalf of the city, are hereby further authorized and directed to negotiate resolution of any disputes by and between the city, Illinois Railway, LLC, and any other railroads or entities concerning Peru Rail. Ordinance should be effective immediately from and after its passage and approval. This is a firm out of Oak Brook, and there are very few firms that do any railway work. The largest, which really isn't a large law firm by Chicago standards, would be Fletcher and Sipple, but they represent Omnitrax, who owns Illinois Railway. And frankly, I've made an awful lot of calls with people that I know in Chicago, and everybody gives the same name. When you look on their website, then you can see why. They probably represent 25 or 30 railroads. The only other firms up in Chicago would be the very, very large, very cost-prohibitive firms. And Dan Sullivan from this firm, I didn't know him before, just in my research. I was trying to find somebody. He's involved in transportation issues for a long time. He is on the board of two NASDAQ companies, and he represented an industry along the Rochelle Rail in a dispute with the railroad there with favorable results. And his very good friend, who's now retired, was a deputy consul at Conway also. He has that resource to draw upon too. It's an hourly engagement. His rate is $335 an hour, down to $250 an hour for other people in the firms, with paralegal at $75 an hour.
Kind of a basic background for a lot of people who don't know this is the city owns about 3.5 miles of railway in northern Peru, and we do have a number of industry users that use that and pay a fee for us. Naturally, we have the cost of rebuilding the roadway or railway, making repairs, and so what our goal is to try to maximize our revenue out of the railroad with both existing railways that attach to it. And that's what we hope to obtain by hiring the firm. So with that, I'd like to make a motion authorizing execution of the agreement for legal services with Sullivan, Hinks, and Conway.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke, to authorize the execution for legal services of Sullivan, Hinks, and Conway, as written in red. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Next, we have an ordinance granting variances on the petition of Bruce Cordy for property at 14 East 10th Street. This for administrative variances that are approved by the zoning officer, zoning board of appeals chairman, and the alderman of the ward. Be it ordained, real estate located at 14 East 10th Street, Peru, legally described as Lot 3 and Block 8 in East End Addition. City of Peru has granted following variances. North front yard setback is reduced from 25 feet to 0 feet. Minimum lot width is reduced from 60 feet to 53 12.75 feet. Variance is granted for sole purpose allowing petitioner to construct a new 8 feet by 20 feet porch to be attached to the north side of the residence on the property pursuant to plans and specifications filed in the zoning office. None of this ordinance shall be construed to preempt any private covenants and restrictions which are otherwise applicable to the premises.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Waldorf to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved.
We have another ordinance for administrative variances to the property of Robert and Mary Suarez for property at 2013 Manor Lane in Peru, again approved by the zoning officer, zoning board of appeals chairman, and the alderman of that ward, be it ordained real estate located at 2013 Manor Lane, Peru, Illinois. Legally described as Lot 17 in St. John, second edition of city approves granted the following variances: front yard setback reduced from 30 feet to 20 feet. Side yard setback abutting a street from 30 feet to 20 feet. Minimum lot area from 12,000 to 7,860 square feet. And the minimum rear yard setback from 30 feet to 4 feet. To allow the petitioners to construct a 7 feet by 10 feet room addition on the north portion of their residence pursuant to plans and specifications filed in the zoning office.
Your Honor.
Alderman Radke?
Make a motion we adopt the ordinances written and read.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Radke, second by Alderman Perez to adopt the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved.
You have ordinance establishing the meeting dates for the City of Peru Accounts and Finance Committee for calendar year 2014. Peter Dane, meetings be held at 4 o'clock in the City Municipal Building on the date set forth, and notice shall be posted and sent to all the news media.
Do we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved.
You have another ordinance establishing regular meeting dates for the City Council of calendar year 2014, be it ordained. It should be held 7:30 p.m. City Municipal Building, and the dates are set forth. The attached exhibit to be posted and sent to all the news media.
Do you have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read?
Your Honor. Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. If we're going to reduce our meetings, we went from 4 to 3, now we're going to go down to 2 a month. I think our salary needs to be reduced along with that. And we can't do that until our next election. So I'd recommend we wait. I mean, getting paid what we paid for 4 meetings and down to 3, then down to 2, the rest of the work is public service. And I was under the impression that in the very beginning, which, you know, we got paid per meeting, but if it's salary, it's salary. But at the same time, I don't feel 2 meetings a month is, I'm not saying we don't deserve it, but at the same time, if we're reducing the number of meetings to 2 per month, we need to reduce our salary.
Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Nay.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved.
So on the agenda, we have the resolution providing for the advisory referendum. What's your pleasure?
Do we have a motion to approve the resolution as written and read? Well, everybody's had it for 4 days now. We're going to make a motion to...
No, please read it, Doug, what you have.
Yeah, okay. Pursuant to 65 ILCS 5, says 3.1-40-60 provides that municipalities may authorize advisory public questions or placement on the ballot in next regularly scheduled election in the municipality. City Council determines the best interest of the city. There should be submitted qualified electors of the city an advisory public question concerning whether to construct city-approved municipal pool and finance the construction and operation by real estate property tax. Now therefore be it resolved. The proper positions set forth should be submitted to the voters of the city approved. The general primary election be held on Tuesday, the 18th day of March, 2014, between the hours of 6 o'clock a.m. and 7 o'clock p.m. on said date. Whereas the election shall be held in the voting precincts and the voting places established by LaSalle County Clerk for the voters of the city of Pruitt, the election. County Clerk shall give notice of the election by publishing the notice once not more than 30 days nor less than 10 days prior to the date of the election in a local community newspaper having general circulation in the city. Posting a copy of the notice at least 10 days before the date of the election as principal office is required by Section 2-6 of the Election Code, State of Illinois. City Clerk shall post a copy of the notice at least 10 days before the date of the election in principal office of the city. Notice published by the County Clerk and newspaper having general circulation in the city should be in substantially the following form. Notice already given the general primary election be held by Tuesday, the 18th day of March, 2014. The following proposition shall be submitted to the voters of the city of Pruitt, LaSalle County, Illinois. Shall the city of Pruitt construct and operate a municipal swimming pool financed by real estate property tax imposed upon all taxable real estate within the city of Pruitt? Polls should be open at 6 o'clock, continue to be open until 7 o'clock. That's signed by the LaSalle County Clerk, and that's the form of the ballot. The election shall be conducted by election judges appointed by the County Clerk to act in the voting precincts of which such proposition should be submitted to the voters of the city of Pruitt. After the adoption hereof, not less than 61 days prior to the date of the election, the city clerk shall certify a copy hereof to the county clerk, and the advisory proposition set forth herein may be submitted to the voters of the city of Pruitt. Election shall be held and conducted, and the returns thereof canvassed, all in the manner and times provided in the election code. All ordinances, orders, and resolutions, parts thereof in conflict herewith shall be repealed. The resolution shall be posted in one or more public areas in the city of Pruitt. And this was, and there were a couple of revisions from the first one that was sent out to all the council after speaking with Joanne Corretto, the LaSalle County Clerk. And this one here everyone had since Friday too, I think. The other one was set out a couple of days before.
I'd like to make a motion to table that until we hear from the Friends for Pruitt Pool in 2 weeks, which would be the 21st. I honestly don't feel going out for a referendum. I've heard from many, many people that they don't want to get their property taxes increased. And I don't feel even having the elderly and the people that live paycheck to paycheck wonder for the next few months if their taxes are going to be increased and having to worry about that. So I wouldn't support it anyway, but I think that we should table it and allow the Friends for Pruitt Pool to give their presentation in 2 weeks.
First of all, Friends of the Pruitt Pool have done a good job. They've had this committee going for 3.5 years now. They've got $100,000. They're willing to go with the splash pad. I'm all in favor of putting it on the resolution, on the ballot, and letting the people decide how they want to pay for this.
I think myself is I'd like to gauge in on what the public opinion is, and the perfect way to do that is to put it on a ballot to see if the public is willing to support a pool based on real estate taxes. Because quite honestly, with the pension funding that we have out there, the infrastructure dealings that we've had with the water, the sewer, the streets, the roadways, is you're going to be limited on funding. You know, extra funding or $1 million here or $1 million there is not anything that you're going to see the government come up with. So I think the perfect example is to ask the taxpayers, is this something you're willing to support? And I would like to do that.
It's an advisory, that's right. So, you know, they're going to come to us and they're going to tell us, in my opinion, from everybody that I've been hearing, and I probably had more calls on this than I did for the going out for bids, that say they do not want a property tax increase. So that tells me that the majority, the supermajority of the people are going to say no to a property tax increase. Then that's going to be left in our hands. And I'm not sure how many aldermen up here are going to vote for a property tax increase to begin with, because I'm not going to. Even if, you know, the people come by, the amount of people that are going to go to this primary election are going to be nil, hardly any, compared to a regular election when the mayor runs for, during the mayor race, that campaign there, or the election, when they go to the polls.
So then
There's not going to be the turnout here. We're better off putting something like we did for the percent sales tax increase. We're going to reach more people that way than we are through this way, through the ballot. We're not going to see the turnout at this next primary election. So, you know, we're not going to hear from the majority of the people on this one.
So you tell me how we're going to pay for it, Alderman.
We're going to continue, we're going to do the splash pad, and then I firmly believe that when the people see a splash pad in place, and they see the vision, and they see the blueprint, and they actually, it's in place, they're going to see something happen. They'll see more funds coming in with a restructure and of how they're going to end up doing things for this next time around. I believe it can happen.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Alderman Perez to table this. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Alderman Mueller. Okay, we have a motion and a second to table it. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Nay.
Ferrari.
Nay.
Waldorf.
Nay.
Lukosius.
Nay.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Nay.
Mueller.
Aye.
Okay, that motion is defeated. Do we have a motion to approve the resolution as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Do we have a
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Putoff to approve the resolution as written and read. Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Nay.
Mueller.
Nay.
Okay, motion approved.
And to let you know where I'm coming from with that is, I'm a firm believer in letting the people voice up, but I'm not going to vote no for a referendum to hear the people's voice. But at the same time, I felt tabling it would be the way to go, because what we're going to hear from the people, you're going to see.
Well, now you will see.
Yeah, you will see.
Okay, you'll find out March 18th.
That's right.
And again, I don't think
Please be
necessarily,
quiet back there.
if the referendum is defeated, I don't think necessarily the idea of continuing to raise money from a private sector is a bad idea. I think you can continue to do that with a referendum that is defeated or a referendum that's accepted. I don't think the referendum in itself has anything to do with the work of the committee that's currently working on building a pool or anything to do with a splash pad. It's an advisory to tell us as a city council if people that we represent are willing to pay for a pool out of their pockets. That's all it does.
I enjoy hearing that, because when the people voiced up for us going out for bids, ears were closed.
Okay, motion's been approved for the resolution. Do you have the...
And we have an ordinance authorizing the execution of agreement between the City of Prue and the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police representing FOP Lodge 137. This is a collective bargaining agreement that has been signed by the bargaining unit, and it entails the dates of May 1st, 2012 to April 30th of 2017. Everybody on the council should have had a copy last week to review.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the agreement between the City of Prue and the Fraternal Order of Police?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke, to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
I just wanted to highlight, Your Honor, it falls in line with the other collective bargaining units that we have done in the last few years. Basically, it says the police will receive a 2% increase each year for the term of the contract. The employees or the police FOP will pay 15% of the health insurance premiums as opposed to 10%. Those are the main points of the agreement. Lots of different languages that vary with disciplinary procedures and layoffs, calls, sick leaves, everything like that remains consistent with the other agreements that we have in both the city and the previous FOP agreements.
Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller.
Aye.
Motion approved. Unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? New business. Do we have any new business?
Your Honor, there's a motion to advertise and seek applications for the position of Electric Department Superintendent/Engineer. I'd like to make that a motion.
Your Honor, I will second that motion.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf, to advertise to seek applicants for the position of Electric Department Superintendent/Engineer. Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir. We have a job title or a job description here. And it, under reports to, it says the mayor. And I would like that to say, and the Public Works Committee. We have another job description, and it has the mayor and the committee that it is overseen by, that job, and overseen by. And I would like to have that change made to this so that this person reports to the mayor and the Public Works Committee.
We can't have a person that has 3 bosses or 4 bosses. A person has to have 1 boss. So,
Well,
I agree.
at
That
the,
one probably needs to be changed, in my opinion.
change to what? Are you saying the same thing that Alderman Waldorf just said, or what are you
No,
saying?
he's saying the other way.
With all due respect to Alderman Waldorf, I'm saying the exact opposite.
Well, this-
Also, the people need to report to the mayor.
This was discussed with myself and HR and the Public Works Superintendent. That's the way it's been written all along, and so it was left that way.
Well, let's either get them both, let's get them both the same one way or the other.
Well, that would be the way, that's the one that's in front of you right now. Everything goes, if it goes to the mayor, it goes to the committee, and it goes to the full council. Anyway, no one has the power of saying yes or no to anything.
So you're saying that with the other job description that we have, Public Health and Safety Committee would be taken off of that?
I don't know Alderman Waldorf, I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, we just go with the mayor.
On both of them?
That's correct. I don't know why it didn't come out like that. So we have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf. Then we'll, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any other new business? Petitions, communications.
Yes, Your Honor, we have a communication from Attorney John Duncan of the Herbolsheimer, Henson, Duncan, Gift, Eaton, and Hinz PC on behalf of Edward Ledzinski requesting annexation and rezoning of property along Route 6.
Do we have a motion to receive the communication, place it on file, and turn it over to the Planning Committee for further review and recommendation?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Be zoning and planning.
They're asking for rezoning, so I think they need to go planning and zoning.
Commission. It's all plan commission, annexation, and zoning.
Okay, we'll turn it over to Planning and Zoning
Yeah,
for review and recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Pardon me?
Next, we have a communication from Harvest Community Church requesting a permanent use for the property located at 1725 4th Street.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the communication from Harvest Community Church requesting a permanent special use for property located at 1725 4th Street. Turn it over to Planning and Zoning for review and recommendation.
I'll make that a motion.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Radke, to receive the communication, place it on file, and forward it to the Planning and Zoning for further review and recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we have a communication from GNB Trust 1093 for subdivision of real estate for property located at 1250 Church Street.
Do we have a motion to receive the communication from GNB Trust 1093 for subdivision of real estate for property located at 1250 Church Street?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Turn it over to Planning and Zoning for review and recommendation. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
No further communication, Your Honor.
Okay, public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Right now, we're still looking into that. They're still trying to get schedules worked out, but it might be pushed off.
Any other public comment? Any public comment? No public comment? Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved, Your Honor.
Who does the second come from? Have a motion by Alderman Kosher, second by Alderman Mueller for adjournment. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.